right? How would we dance to this? I'm not gonna dance on video, but if I was moving my body, my shoulders go up and down, I'm snapping, I could catch that rhythm. Hey, thanks for your question. You're asking a big, important question about summertime and about music in general. And I'll try and give you some ideas. So, in my performance of Summertime, I use a lot of fills, like fill in. And I'm filling in the spots of silence. So, the melody of Summertime in D minor, right? So it's an ideal song to practice fills, musical fills, because there are some long notes being held, right? Summertime, break. And the living is easy. Nothing's happening, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So during those times, I noodle around. I doodle, I noodle, I sketch musical ideas, musical fills. And really, that's totally up to you. Is it a specific technique? I use a lot of trills. They're always going to be in D minor. They're not just going to be chords. They can be chords. So like you said, that works, but the 1, 3, 5 is a little bit boring, let's say. It's a little bit limiting. I shouldn't say boring. It's a little bit limiting. So I could do trills and ornaments, right? Or so how do we practice this? Let me show you how I practice it with... We practice it a number of ways. One way is by using a metronome or a backing track and just noodling around. It's kind of what we're doing now with this challenge, with this month's challenge. We also did it... Remember we did a challenge where the music was... I forget which month it was, but we did a challenge where I gave you a melody and your job was to do the fill in. And you did a really good job, and other people did a really good job. So I'll link you to it. But in general, how I would practice for Summertime is this loop that should be. I'm going to record the 1, 2, 3. So I'm recording this as a backing track, and I'm going to fill in the fills. Here. Now I'm going to try something else. That doesn't sound good. I'm gonna try that. Right? So... Yeah. That was a mistake, but it sounded good. So, am I using a specific technique? I'm using piano fills. I'm using right-hand fills to go on to your second question, soloing and improvising involves doing that. Eventually, like you said, the Mary Had a Little Lamb, eventually we're just left with this. And that's this month's challenge too, which is, what do we do with our right hand? The same thing I used before. Right? That's the first time that I actually used the chord. To your example, when you noodle around with the chords, it's boring and there's no rhythm. So, some ideas. How do we get better at it? Through doing it. I used to be terrified of soloing. Maybe for the story before, when I played in a band, this wasn't too many years ago, 7 years ago, in a band on stage at like a jazz and blues festival. When my band would tell me to solo, I would shake my head. And then when it came time for me to solo, it was like... it was chords in rhythm. Totally okay. But the more I play, the more I explain how to solo, the more comfortable I get with going out of rhythm a little bit and noodling around through exercises like what we're doing in the March 2022 challenge, which is, if you record this as a backing track. Let me do that, and I'll show you some ideas around how to explore creativity. So our backing track's in D minor to E minor. That's our backing track. It's basically a metronome. Ways of exploring rhythm means stepping away from the accordion. What about humming or clapping, right? Do 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 ba ba, do do da da do da. Right? How would we dance to this? I'm not gonna dance on video, but if I was moving my body, my shoulders go up and down, I'm snapping, I could catch that rhythm, right? Eventually, I move it to my fingers. That sounds good to me. All that clapping, all that rhythm sounded good to me, and I think that's a way of exploring rhythm. I encourage you to do that in a way that feels comfortable for you. Whether it's humming, whether it's saying BB, DB, DB, dop, right? That kind of stuff. As well as eventually coming to your instrument. There I just used the D as a rhythm, right? I was trying to do this. And eventually you could start introducing the D minor scale to it, a few notes at a time. And eventually you land on something that sounds really nice, and it's okay to write that down. So during the course of this video, I like that. Good, I would write that down. I like it, right? a video where it was. I forgot what the rhythm was, but again, through play, originally we started with do-da-da-da-da, ba-ba-ba-ba, right, with clapping, with slowly coming closer and closer to the keyboard. Right, ba-da, ba-da-da, ba-da, ba-da-da. What notes fit there? Sure, right? That was. And then we choose notes from that D minor scale. Now, obviously, we can introduce chords. But it's just through play and exploration and making mistakes for a long time, and it's okay. Yeah, so take it slowly. Give yourself, have compassion for yourself. I didn't have very much compassion for myself. I just really disliked soloing, and it scared me, so I wouldn't do it. And little by little, through explaining it as well, like through teaching it, and just through my own exploration, through the monthly challenges, I always submit a sample of my own doing. Yeah, it gets better. So again, silence, dynamics, those are all characteristics that you can play with in your soloing and improvisation. Yeah, thank you. I don't have a practice routine, but that's what I would do. Your goal is to be able to solo improvise. Yeah, the specific exercises, try that. Get a metronome and clap along to it. My metronome is down there, so I can't do it. But again, a metronome, if that's happening, I'm trying to catch it. If this is happening, right? Like one exercise is like, can you dance? How can you open up your body a little bit so that you can feel that groove? So a metronome helps. Playing along, clapping along to a backing track. My idea would be to remove the keyboard, because I find it too. I could do this. Do da da do da do da da do da. But as soon as I try and introduce notes, my brain snaps back to piano mode. It might be doing the same for you. So ba-da ba-da da ba-da ba-da da. Right? Ba-da ba-da da ba-da ba-da da. Yeah. Right, so that kind of practice, really intentional rhythmic exercises, starting here, moving closer and closer to the keyboard, I think will help. Let me know if it does, let me know if it doesn't. Thanks for your really good question. Hope you're well.